Imagine a day, nay, a world, where every time you visit one of those websites you probably shouldn't be spending so much time on, you are asked to exchange a little time on something useful, say learning to code, or catching up on correspondence. Igchi is a browser extension that redirects a visit to URLs of your choosing to another URL of your choosing, and back again. You decide when it's active and how much time you want to spend on your learning site and your time-wasting site. Doesn't that sound fantastic? A true game changer. A revolution in the way we spend our time online. That's what we thought too. Turns out, not so simple. People feel really excited about this idea in principle, but in reality, more than half our participants ended up dropping out of the study or not really using the extension. We were, of course, curious why. What makes people commit to this idea and not see it through? What are the challenges that people experience, and what are the opportunities for designing such an intervention better? We recruited 31 participants for a long-term study of Igchi and ended up with 16 from whom we could get useful data. We logged the time they spent on self-defined, time-wasting websites for a month, which gave us a basis for comparison. And then installed Igchi on their computer for the following 2 months. The participants were assigned to an online coding tutorial for their learning platform. And during the 2 months, they were redirected to the coding tutorial every time they accessed one of their time-wasting websites. When they chose that Igchi was active, that is. We found 2 statistically significant effects of using Igchi which confirmed our hypotheses. Study participants did spend less time on their time-wasting websites, and they did improve their knowledge of programming. However, after the 2 months, many participants described deliberately avoiding their time-wasting websites to prevent redirections, or simply turning Igchi off after the novelty wore off. When we inquired further, we identified 4 important challenges to a system like Igchi. It turns out, basing the redirection exclusively on visiting a specific URL doesn't actually make that much sense in a world where social media is used for everything from mindless doom scrolling to purposeful business communication. Some participants felt the learning platform was inappropriate during work hours. I felt like I was cheating at work instead of taking a break. And speaking of break, the second challenge was that the learning platform, the coding tutorial, was too demanding. When participants were trying to visit a time-wasting website, they were actually looking for a break from work, but one that didn't interrupt their focus too much. One participant said the whole point was setting his own agenda. I just wanted to do something else, more pleasant, more rewarding. And what is rewarding at the moment is independence. The third challenge was the fact that several participants ended up avoiding their time-wasting websites altogether, either because the redirection made them aware that they were not supposed to go to the website, or simply to avoid the coding tutorial. While this effect is good in the sense that it reduces the time one spends on mindless or time-wasting online activities, it also means that learning from the coding tutorial doesn't actually happen. Which sort of makes Igchi just another blocking app, which doesn't really work for most people. Finally, several participants also brought up the tendency to fail to adhere in the present to promises one has made to oneself in the past. While they were initially committed to using Igchi actively, they found themselves circumventing the redirection. I would just use my phone instead. In the future, for something like this, it would have been nice if I had more restrictions on me on different devices. Now, even though our experiment wasn't all that successful in transforming the world, we did identify some important opportunities for the redesign of a system like Igchi. First, the user should feel in control. Redirection should ideally be experienced as self-regulation and not as self-blocking, as blocking is likely to lead to the user becoming annoyed with the system. Second, the learning platform matters a great deal. In this experiment, we decided the learning platform for the participants, and that really affects how people experience the redirection. Third, users are more open to redirection at some times than others. Whether that means time of day, state of focus, or even geolocation, we don't yet know. And finally, it is really difficult to strike that balance between pervasive and invasive. The optimal solution may be to let the user tailor the redirection to each of their devices. The challenges and opportunities explore why, when, and for whom the strategy of redirection works or doesn't work. While Ike does not completely crack the code to prompting meaningful online behavior in its current version, we hope that these insights will be useful to other designers of self-regulation systems. Please reach out to us if you're interested in getting access to the next version of Ike.